How you doing today? Let's take a little trip into the lab.
That's right. Just have sex with her. Show me your genitals. Your genitals. What? Show me your genitals. Show me your genitals.
Oh, what's you guys again?
Show me your genitals.
So let me tell you a little story about these Drosophila flies. So in addition to being a great research model, they're also great at pulling April Fool's pranks. So on my first day of Drosophila training, which was ironically on April Fool's Day, I had to learn how to determine the gender of these flies. And my first strategy was to look at their genitalia and spot differences between the two sexes. So while scanning and scanning and scanning, I had noticed this little structure on the flies that was similar in morphology to the structure that I have that identifies me as a male. Intuitively, I thought that those flies were also male, and I began to relate to them on the basis that we both need our structures to impregnate the opposite sex and begin life anew. So using my thought pattern, I had segregated my flies to opposite ends of my CO2 pad based on whether or not they had this said structure. After I had completed my task, I was feeling like Kanye and Beyonce, and then I said, Michelle, hey, come look at these flies and tell me what you have to say. So she had given me her approval, and then I had proceeded to tell her which side was male and which side was female. She had told me I was reversed, and I was stunned, I was shocked, I was confused, I was heartbroken, because these flies I thought were my boys were really my girls. So from that day on, I took that pain that was in my heart, and now I'm able to tell males and females apart.
So let's help John figure out what's truly different between the males and females of these Drosophila flies. Male genitalia are made up of the following parts: the circus, cerstylus, a diagus, gonopod, and epandrium. But what's most interesting about the males are the sex combs. Look at those things. They look vicious. These sex combs grasp onto the female abdominal and genitalia before and during copulation. Without these sex combs, reproduction is not effective and elicits lower reproductive behaviors as well. The females, however, have different parts for their genitalia. Like John said, many females that you observe under the microscope will look like they have a big protrusion from the genitalia, but that is not a penis, it is an egg. The females have a diagus, hypandrial apodeme, and an adiagal apodeme. The females do not have a sex comb, but they do have what's known as spermatheca. This is a sac where they store the male sperm after copulation. Here the sperm is allowed to biochemically transition into a form that can fertilize an oocyte. This helps reproduction overall because it eliminates time and environment sensitivity. Now, sex determination is important for all these important parts of reproduction. Sex determination in Drosophila is regulated by a series of alternative splicing events, or more precisely, a cascade of RNA splicing reactions. The primary signal determining whether the fly develops as a male or female is the number of X chromosomes relative to the number of autosomes. Individuals that carry one X chromosome and two sets of autosomes are male, whereas individuals with an equal number of X and autosomal chromosomes are female. In essence, the first important step for sex determination is the ratio of autosomal versus sex chromosomes. In accordance to the specific ratio, a sex-lethal gene is activated in female flies and inactivated in male flies. The sex-lethal proteins in the females are expressed, which allows for female-specific gene expression. All in all, you can think of sex differentiation in Drosophila as opposite of that in humans. In Drosophila, the male fly is the default sex, with no sex-lethal gene expressed, whereas in humans, the default sex is in fact female.
Show me your genitals. Your genitals. What? Show me your genitals. Your genitalia. Show me your genitals. Your genitals. What? Show me your genitals. Your genitalia.